Welcome to Medicated Housewife DIY. In today's DIY video, insanely easy Dollar Tree Winter Decor, 6 genius, quick and cozy winter DIYs anyone can make. We are making 6 super easy, high-end looking winter decor pieces for your home. Stylish and impressive with a rustic, neutral, and beyond cozy winter vibe. 6 DIYs that anyone can make using mostly Dollar Tree supplies. So stick around because you don't want to miss these winter decor DIYs. To begin with, we're using one of those small plastic cloches from Dollar Tree. We're going to remove the label and the tape on it, and then using masking tape, also from Dollar Tree, we're going to cover the entire bottom base of the cloche. That's the whole black part, and we're going to cover that all with the masking tape. When applying the tape, neatness does not count with this. We want to get all those little wrinkles and imperfections and texture from the tape, both on the sides of the base as well as on that top part of the base. We're not worried about the bottom of the base because it won't be seen. You're going to want to make sure your clear plastic top of that dome still fits over those couple of layers of tape that we've applied to the base, and we're going to be cutting these little nicks and cuts sporadically around the base with a box cutter or a X-Acto knife, whatever, because they will add to the natural effect that we're looking for when we paint the base later on. What we're trying to do is to make this base look like a piece of birch, like we went and sliced a birchwood slice right off a tree somewhere. So we want to use some of that masking tape and kind of roll it and mold it to form these little raised knots on the side of the base. And again, no neatness, no rules. You can make your knots as small or as large as you want, as neat or as messy. It doesn't matter. You place them anywhere you want. We secure those wood knots with more of the masking tape, and that will hold them in place. Next, we're going to use this Folk Art Home Decor white chalk paint, and I will link it as well as all the other non-Dollar Tree supplies that we used in the description box below for you. And we're going to paint the entire base with this paint. Everywhere that we've taped will be covered with the chalk paint, and you most likely will only need 1 coat of the chalk paint for full coverage. Once the white paint dried, we mixed a little folk art chalk paint in the color Castle with some Deco Art black paint to darken it up. And using a dry rough brush, we lightly dry brushed the white base with the dark gray paint mixture, which helps bring out all those wrinkles, nicks, and cuts and stuff that we made in the tape. And also, you want to brush around the top of the base in a circle like a wood slice would look, and around and on those knots that we've made with the masking tape, and that's going to help them look more realistic. We do the same dry brush technique over the base and the knots using this Folk Art Home Decor antique wax, which I will link below for you. And we're going to do it the same way as we did with the gray over that whole base, including around in circles on the top and over and around the wood knots. After that, we're going to give a quick and light dry brushing with more of the white chalk paint that we started with, just to mute out some of the stronger dark colors and to help everything blend together better. Lastly, we used a hard plastic card like a credit card and dipped the edge of it into some of the dark gray paint just to make some random cut lines throughout the base. And that just is really to help with that realistic birch look. I had a bunch of small pine cones, some from my backyard, some from a pack from Dollar Tree, plus a couple of little twigs also from Dollar Tree, and I assembled them on the base and inside the dome. And this is DIY number 1, our mini pinecone cloche. How rustic and winter is this? Not to mention beyond easy. Sometimes simple really is beautiful. For DIY number 2, we're using 2 different sizes of styrofoam balls, and I know they have them at Dollar Tree, but not my Dollar Tree, so I got these on Amazon. I'll link them for you below. And we're also using some of the loose pieces of a Dollar Tree white cotton mop. On this larger ball, we're going to roll the mop rope and secure it to the ball using some small dabs of hot glue every so often. And we start at the middle and make our way out until that whole ball is covered with the mop. On the smaller foam ball, we're doing the same thing with the mop, but I did cut a small slice off the bottom of this ball to make it stand up a little, and I have a little bit of a flat bottom. I also stopped wrapping the mop at the bottom because we won't see the bottom of this finished project, so we really don't need any rope to be there. Next, we're using a toothpick with a little hot glue on both ends, and we're going to stick the toothpick into the top middle of the larger ball and into the flat bottom where there is no rope on that smaller ball. And that's to attach both balls together, and I think you can figure out what we're making here. We're going to use 2 of these small black push pins from the Dollar Tree in the school supplies section, and we simply dab a little hot glue and push them into the styrofoam ball as eyes for our snowman. Yes, spoiler alert, he's a snowman. We grab 3 small wood buttons, and I got these on Amazon, and I'll link them for you below, but you can find similar buttons at Dollar Tree. And we hot glue them to the front of our snowman body. We use some clippers, and I will link these for you below, to cut off a small pointy piece of a twig and simply painted it orange with an orange Sharpie marker. Then stuck it into the styrofoam to be our snowman's carrot nose. We got this burlap runner on Amazon, and I will link it for you below, but that's only because I could not find any burlap at my Dollar Tree. Maybe you have a better stocked store near you, but using a shot glass from Dollar Tree and a top of a plastic condiment container, a little condiment cup, also from Dollar Tree, we cut a strip of the burlap and use hot glue to cover the outside of our shot glass with this burlap. Then we cut a piece of burlap to glue to our condiment cup top and overlap the edges of that burlap to cover that edge of the top of the cup. It's like this little flexible edge around the top of the condiment cup, and we're covering that with the burlap, and that's going to be the brim of our snowman's hat. We cut a small strip of burlap to cover up and neaten up that brim that we just made. So we glued the strip around the brim, and we made a hole in the middle of that cup top and in the middle of the shot glass bottom with the tip of our hot glue gun so that we could fit a toothpick through the middle that will attach to our snowman's head. I didn't show it on camera, but we did cover the top open part of that shot glass with another piece of burlap to be the top of our top hat, and we glue the shot glass bottom to the top of the condiment cup top, and just like that, we have a lovely burlap top hat. Using this leafy jute stuff that those of you who have been here before know I use this all the time, and I will link it for you below. We used a dab of hot glue and wrapped that jute around the base of the top hat to embellish it. I still felt it needed some more color, so we grabbed a small berry bunch from one of those holiday florals from the Dollar Tree and tucked that into the jute just to finish the look. Our snowman needed a smile, which I cut out using some black felt from Dollar Tree and a dab of hot glue to attach it to his snowman face. Using a small piece of nautical rope from Dollar Tree, we looped it around the snowman's neck to be his scarf, securing it in place with a dab of hot glue, and then trimming and fraying the ends of the nautical rope to complete his scarf. And this is DIY number 2, our rustic but adorable snowman. Just amazing that some styrofoam and a Dollar Tree mop can make this neutral winter decor for your home. For DIY number 3, we're using this canvas board from Dollar Tree. You can make this any size, just altering the size of the rest of your supplies as needed to fit whatever size canvas board you use. We got a bunch of small craft sticks from Dollar Tree and did a Google image search for Christmas tree outlines to find this geometric simple tree outline, and we print it out on plain paper to fit our canvas. We cut out the pieces of our tree minus that star because we won't be using that. And we're using the cutout pieces to use as templates. And we are going to cut our craft sticks accordingly to fit those templates. We'll be using Tight Bond Quick and Thick to glue our craft sticks together, and we'll be cutting the craft sticks with these miter shears. I will link the ones that I use for you below. You could try scissors too, but some of those sticks are a little hard to cut. We're marking the cut lines and using the shears to cut whatever small angles are necessary. They're not really 45-degree angles, but you can adjust those angles on the miter shears. We use the templates to size out our craft sticks and exactly where we will be cutting them. This sounds a lot more complicated than it is. We're just gonna cut those sticks to fit right onto those template pieces. We painted the canvas board with Delta Antique White, and it only took one coat for full coverage, and then we put that aside to fully dry. Next, we painted all our craft stick pieces using a mixture of folk art home decor antique wax mixed with plain water. And we painted all sides of those craft stick shapes, front, back, all the edges. And then we used a dry paper towel to wipe off any of the excess wax off of the pieces. We also painted some of these wood snowflakes. I got these on Amazon and I will link them below, but I've heard that some people have found these at Dollar Tree too. But you know they didn't have them at my Dollar Tree. We had some of these jumbo craft sticks. I got them at Home Depot, but I know they have them at Walmart too. And we cut the round edges off of them and used a baby wipe with some apple barrel khaki paint to rub some color onto one side of them, and followed that by a little light dry brush distressing with the antique wax over the khaki. We placed the jumbo craft sticks out on the canvas to size them out for a frame, and then we hot glued the craft stick frame onto the edge of the canvas, just overlapping it by about 1/4 inch all around. And truth be told, I really wasn't happy with the corners of the frame, so I simply hot glued 4 of these snowflakes right over the frame corners, and that solved the problem. We reassembled the tree pieces onto the canvas using another one of those wood snowflakes at the top of the tree where the star was in the original picture, using hot glue to attach all the individual pieces to the canvas. And this is DIY number 3, our craft stick winter wood wall art. I love the simplicity of this wood art piece, and its rustic charm and neutral color works with so many decor styles. DIY number 4 is actually a Pottery Barn dupe, starting with this black plastic bucket from, I think they come in a 2-pack from Dollar Tree, and we're using our trusty clippers to cut the entire top section, the handle and the top section of this bucket off, trying our best to snip off any of those really jagged edges. Next, we took apart this reindeer ornament from last year's Dollar Tree Christmas collection, and unfortunately, he is covered in glitter, which is not the look that we want. So we cover the entire reindeer with matte Mod Podge. This is also from Dollar Tree, and then we allow that Mod Podge to fully dry. Once the Mod Podge dried, we took that and the cut-off plastic bucket, as well as a handful of gold thumbtacks from Dollar Tree, outside and spray painted them with Rust-Oleum flat black spray paint, which I will link below. Then we used this folk art brushed metal paint, which I will also link below, in a dry brush, and we distressed the tacks and the bucket and the reindeer with this brushed metal paint, trying to get an old iron or like a cast iron look, just to make them look aged and old. Next, using this faux black leather from Dollar Tree, we cut strips of it off and then folded in both edges of the strips to create some faux leather edging. We hot glued the folded sides inward to keep their shape. Using a wire cutter, we carefully snipped the sharp tack part off of all of those thumbtacks, and I suggest you do this over something, or those sharp tacks are going to fly everywhere. We're gonna hot glue the faux leather edging all around the top of that plastic bucket, making sure to hide the very top edge of the bucket because it's kind of ugly. Next, measuring about 1.5 inches apart, we use dabs of hot glue to attach the painted thumbtacks around the bucket onto the faux leather. We use some hot glue to attach the reindeer to the bucket right under the faux leather edge. And because we didn't like the look of that space around where we had glued him to the bucket, we hid that under another folded strip of the faux leather. This time we wrapped that around where the reindeer and the bucket meet. We grabbed this medium-sized glass cylinder vase from Dollar Tree and some handfuls of river rocks, also from Dollar Tree, and placed those rocks into the vase. And then placing a medium-sized pillar candle in the middle of that with some more rocks surrounding it to secure it. Lastly, we place the glass vase into the black bucket. And this is DIY number 4, our elk or reindeer head hurricane candle holder. There is an elk head hurricane candle vase at Pottery Barn similar to this for like $150. So I'm very excited to be able to recreate this one for under $5. So sleek and sophisticated and very high end. DIY number 5 begins with this wood palette from Dollar Tree, which we will be painting with Folk Art Home Decor white chalk paint. Painting the front and the sides and then inside all of those little edges. Using this bag of twig pieces from my backyard, we pick out 3 twigs that are relatively the same size. And I take the first 2 and we're going to crisscross them on the palette, placing them on the palette, and we're going to mark with a pencil where they will intercept so we know where to cut. Using my favorite clippers, we cut the one twig where we marked that intersection. Cut that twig and then use some hot glue to glue both twigs to the palette in an X formation. Then grabbing that third twig, we mark the middle with a pencil and cut it with the clippers and using some hot glue to attach it, going across the middle of that X that we just glued down. We marked and cut 6 sets of short twigs about 1 inch or so long, but that does not have to be exact as long as they are all relatively the same size. And then we are going to place and glue down each pair in sort of a triangle formation in between all of those larger twigs, as you can see me do here. After gluing, they will all actually look like diamond shapes, and hopefully that makes sense to you. Then we cut a bunch of thicker short pieces and begin gluing them on either side of the big twigs, pointing upwards, as you can see me doing here. And we are going to do this to all of those larger twig pieces, just like you do when you're drawing a snowflake. This is DIY number 5, our wood palette and twig snowflake wall art. Now, I have seen larger versions of this on Etsy for lots of money, but who would know that you picked up sticks in your backyard and created something this rustic and classic? DIY number 6 is so simple, it's more of a hack than a DIY, but we Google image searched snowflake coloring page and came up with this image, printed it on printer paper, taped the paper to our work surface, and took a piece of parchment paper, and that's like plain old kitchen parchment paper. We taped that right over the design so that we could see through it. Then using your hot glue gun, you're going to trace the entire image with the hot glue gun, just like tracing with a pen, but we're using a glue gun instead. And you want to make sure that you make all of the lines in your design thick enough so that they don't rip apart. And you're also going to make an effort to keep all those hot glue strings to a minimum, but they are easy enough to cut away if those strings do happen. You only need to wait a few minutes for the glue to cool before carefully peeling the snowflakes off of the parchment paper, but they all come off the paper pretty easily. And at this point, you can either leave your snowflakes the way that they are, you can paint them white or another color. It's whatever you want. I happen to have this set of mica powders I got on Amazon and I'll link them below, but I've never used them. So I opened the silver one and dab my finger in the powder and rub that silver metallic color all over the snowflakes. I found that a little goes a long way with all of these powders, and I was done in minutes, no drying time needed. This is DIY number 6. These are technically called window clings, but you can use them on any glass surface like a picture frame, like here, or a mirror. They do look lovely on a window though. We put the tiniest dab of hot glue in the middle and they stuck to our windows for days. This is a fun and creative winter DIY to do with kids. Quick, easy, and shimmery. And these are all 6 of my insanely easy winter decor DIYs. Let me know in the comments which one was your favorite. I love hearing from you. And if you are still here with me, I want to take a moment to say thank you so much for being here and for watching. Your support means everything to me, and I appreciate you all so much. If you've enjoyed any of these winter decor DIYs, please consider hitting the like button and subscribing. I would love to have you here. As always, thanks for watching. My name is Sarah, and I'm the Medicated Housewife, and crafting is my medication.